Hello and welcome to the Hollywood podcast. I have an amazing guest here today, Cami Sue Taylor, whom I met earlier this year, and it's just been a real treasure to get to know her and have many experiences with her, which we may or may not share with you later. But Cami, can you please introduce yourself in your most authentic, your way?
Wow. Wow.
I'm like, I know you as an artist, as I've
Yeah.
watched labyrinths with you, I've drummed with you, I've danced out in the wilderness with you. Like we've got fun together. And I know, and that's why I wanted you on the podcast, because you have so much to offer. And if I follow you online, so I know you have all these brilliant titles. And today I really want you to share with guests is like the drumming that you do and the artwork you do. And we might get a little bit into relationship mentoring, but I'd love for you to share the importance of like the sound healing and all those things you do. So I don't know if you want to like, here's my titles, because I know you've done certifications, but you're like an amazing unicorn from ancient times or something. Like that's maybe how I would describe you. I like unicorn, probably a wild horse. But how do you describe yourself to people when you're sharing who you are and what you do?
Probably since I live on a wild horse ranch, I would say I'm definitely a unicorn in a field of Mustangs. So,
So,
yeah, yeah,
unicorn spirit animal, probably.
probably.
I like that. And I've seen a lot of your artwork, and I know like it's got lots of vibrancies and colors too. So that really fits the unicorn vibe. I love
Yeah.
it.
I've definitely painted a few unicorns for people before, so it was one
Awesome.
of the
I know.
funnest ones. Yeah.
And if anybody's watching, they're going to see you even have like a beautiful drum in the background. So are we with you in one of the rooms you work in? Is this like your studio where you're doing artwork?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
There's a
I love
table
that.
over here that you can't see that's covered in paint. Because yes, I'm a drum maker. I also make rattles
Oh,
and well, all kinds of stuff. My work has just evolved in sound and art healing. So I make medicine bags, just anything to do with leather I love, and crystals and chakras, all the things. So there's fun things inside the rattles like crystals. I'll grab one. There's one right
okay.
here.
I'm like, oh, I didn't know you made medicine bags. Oh, so for anybody who's just listening, this is so cute. It's shaped like a moon and it's got these cute little tails on it. Do you like
Yeah.
whip it around by the tail? Is
It's
that a
actually a
thing?
necklace, so you can wear it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. So it's just with you to
Yeah.
wear. Oh my gosh. I love
Yeah.
that. So that's a pretty special piece. Do you often make pieces like that? Do you do custom pieces?
Yeah, I do all of that. I love just painting, free fall. Just intuitively, whatever comes up. So this week there's been a lot of dragons. Um, I'm not sure why. I'm preparing for a big event this weekend with a lot of men. I'm doing a drum circle for 50 men.
Wow.
And so some of the tools that I'm making are specifically for that event to use with the men. And then I'm also preparing for Yin on Fire. So I'll have a booth. So there's just like all
Okay.
these things that are coming up that people are calling for. So
Wow, you're in like creation mode, major creation
yeah,
mode. I know like the planets are like always doing something. And someone
yeah.
told me today like Jupiter's coming up, but we're still in Mars. And again, not super sure what that means, but I'm like, you're in the energy. You're really bringing forth into the world this creativity and abundantly. I love that.
Thanks.
So what actually got you started on doing this? Have you been doing it for years? I know it's not brand new, but can you tell us your
Yeah,
origin story of
sure.
drum and
Yeah.
rattle?
Wow. So in like 08, 09, there was a big crash and we had a big business and we lost everything. And we
Oh,
moved to a ranch in southeastern Utah just to get regroup and decide what to do. And my husband, he was an IT guy, so he decided to start training wild horses. And I was like, what are you talking about? Wild
okay.
horses.
That's out of
So
left field.
yeah, yeah. And so just watching him like find something he was passionate about, and it gave me the courage to be like, what do I want to do? So we were doing these
Awesome.
empowerment trainings at that time and,
Awesome.
breaking boards and our fears and walking on fire. We did a bunch of crazy
What?
stuff, like
I
trying
love
to
it.
figure out who are we? What
Yeah.
are we doing? Because I was a mom and now my kids are grown and I'm like, I don't know what to
Who am I
do.
now? Right?
Uh-huh. And then West is like all of a sudden a horse trainer. So I'm like, I don't know what's next for me. And so during one of these empowerment trainings, they had a drum circle. And I was like, oh, I love Native American stuff. This is so exciting. Like I had no idea what drumming even was. And so they started doing the drum circle, and I just got all emotional. And the lady with the drum, she brought it over because they didn't have enough for all of us. There was like 200 people. And she brought this beautiful painted drum and handed it to me. And that was the first time I'd ever felt or heard the sound, of a drum, and immediately got connected and spent our last like $500 because we had just lost our business and everything on these 2 drums. Yeah. And so we took them home, and I was painting at that point in my life. And so I decided I was going to paint on these drums. I didn't know how to. I was going to figure it out. I'm going to Google paint on leather and all the things, because I have painted on, oh my gosh, walls and billboards. And I painted a semi-trailer with a mural. Like I painted on clothes. Like I just loved painting. So I could paint on anything that I could hold down. Yeah. And so I painted these 2 drums, and then people saw those, and we were going back to the trainings, bringing them and playing them and learning about sound healing and why we were so connected. And so I started painting drums, and then that led to people wanting drums, but there weren't any to find. There weren't any drum makers back then. This was like 15 years ago. So
I know. Has it that long? It totally is.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I started getting these downloads of like, you're supposed to be a drum maker. And I'm like, no way. No. Like, who's gonna buy a drum from me? Blue-eyed, blonde-haired white chick. Like, I really just couldn't see myself doing that. And I kept being like, shh,
Oh, spirit, be quiet, right?
Exactly. And it just kept happening. It took about a year, and I had a friend who kept telling me, I'll buy your first drum. So yeah, he helped me through it, and I just went through intuitive stuff. And during that journey, I found that my grandparents, my 5th great grandparents, he was a Cherokee chief, and she was a Lakota Sioux woman. And so that explained the connection and the tears and the need to have these drums. And it's just evolved ever since. I've just been diving deep into the why drum and why sound healing. And it's just such a great way to meditate and to lose yourself, So there's 2 major claims with drumming. There's probably more now, but the 2 major ones that I like to share with drumming is that it boosts your immune system. So why not drum? Okay, like during COVID, we were drumming all the time, right? And then the other thing is, it takes you immediately, when you start drumming, it takes you out of the sympathetic nervous system, fight and flight, right into the parasympathetic. So it can regulate you. We love drumming when the grandkids are over, because it just calms them down and puts them right.
I mean, that's what I do to my littles. I'm just like, let me do this for a minute.
Yep. Let's just start drumming. And then all of a sudden the screaming stops, and they're like, what's that sound? So yeah.
Do they join in too, and they like to play?
Oh yeah. And I have a big powwow drum. I made 5 of them now, and it's like 30 inches across, and so 4 sticks. So they immediately come in and start pounding on them.
Hey, wait though. I know, like, I'm gonna interject real quick here. Are you selling those at On Fire? Because like I know there's gonna be some people that want those. You are?
I have one that is ready that I would sell at On Fire. Yeah. It's got a turquoise hoop. It's so pretty.
Oh, because I'm like, I saw one of those back when we met earlier this year. Yeah. And I'm like, I want one.
Yep, I'm bringing one. So
yeah, I'm like, I'll bring my van, and I'll just like, I might have to grab one.
Stick it in, and yep. But I do take pre-orders. You could order one and customize it if you don't want turquoise. You don't even have to paint it. I just like color. So
oh, me too. I'm like, I don't know if you noticed the obnoxiousness.
I'm like all black today.
I know, that's
the color though.
Right. You like, the color gets to be out there sometimes. Like if you look at my house, it's totally like black and white and gray for some reason, but I'm a super colorful person. So I don't know what it means. Nothing.
Perfect.
Oh, I love that. So it's down regulating, and so you're getting into the sympathetic, so the rest and digest when you're drumming. Is that so? Did I say that right?
The para. So
Para.
sympathetics up here, all stress, worry. And then the
Okay.
para, like parachute, you're coming down.
Oh, I
The
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a hard time remembering that. Like, I studied human biology in college and like was going to go to med school supposedly. Yeah, I maybe this is why I didn't go. Like, I can't remember the difference in the name of the
Well,
parasympathetic.
I'm right there with you because I'm more of a touchy-feely gal. So I stole that right from West. So if you
Okay.
don't know my husband, go watch his episode. But he's
Yes.
the horse trainer guy that teaches with science. So he talks
Right.
a lot
He's good
about
at
the
that.
horses, yeah, how the horses downregulate and all the things.
Yeah, that's a fun episode. We had fun, but we're having fun now too. I'm like, I love hearing about the way the drum is making a difference in how you experience life. Like it's calming the children down and maybe calming the children in here inside of me down, right? Like
Yeah.
just relaxing. And I've heard songs and I feel like sometimes the drum gets to be like a heartbeat that you can follow. Or maybe if it's slow enough, I don't know, breath. It feels like, yeah, in so many ways it can regulate what we're up to and calming us down. Do you drum every day or like do you a couple times a day? When's the best time to drum? I'm like, when you're really freaking out or right before meditation? How do you integrate it into your life?
Well, daily is definitely a good idea. However, I usually have anywhere from 20 to 30 drums around me at all times. And sometimes I forget to drum. Wes will look at me and be like, or we'll be arguing. I'll be like, go in my room and like grab a drum and give myself a little sound shower over the head. Yeah. So
Oh
there's
my gosh, bonus. Can you
all
hold that up
kinds.
again for like anybody who's like watching this? Oh my gosh. Can you read all the flowers of all the tangerines? I don't know what it says. Sorry. Will you read it to us?
all Yeah, all the flowers of all the tomorrows are in the seeds of today. So it's the
Oh,
seed
that's
of life.
gorgeous. Oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous. Did you
Thanks.
come up with that? Like, how do you come up with this? You're just such an artist. I love that.
No, I heard that from a friend of mine, Melody Ross. She shared that saying with me. And
That's
then I was
amazing.
like, perfect with the seed. But she was actually talking about children because, you know,
Oh,
the seeds are inside of our tummies. So like, you know, you're inside your mom and your mom was inside your grandma, like all the generations of all of the women. So
I love it.
yeah.
Okay, so let me back up again. So you got the calling essentially from spirit to start making drums.
Yeah.
How did you start? Did you just like, and then because I mean, I know where you're at now. Like, how did you get from there to where you are now? Like, what was one of your first steps, one of your first things that you did to start making drums?
Well, to be honest, a lot of praying.
Yeah, you're like,
Like, oh, help me. If you want me to do this, I'm gonna need help.
I like that. That's like
Yeah.
faithful, right? You know?
Yeah. And so I just started surfing the internet and just looking around. I asked the guy that we bought ours from, but he was like not teaching at that time. And he wasn't really even making them. Artists are funny that way. Sometimes, like right now, I'm making a ton of rattles, and then I might go several months and not make one for a while.
I
I
love
just,
that ebb and flow. You get to like follow
yeah,
your own rhythm. That's
yeah,
cool. Good lesson there.
exactly. And so I just had to go out on my own, and a lot of it honestly is just intuition. And so it was really validating for me. I made a couple drums. The first one's like tore through the holes because I pulled it too tight, so it would like tear out right here. And the quality of the stuff I was buying wasn't very good. I just bought like little drum kits and that wasn't working, so I had to kind of start figuring out what works. So then I'd buy full size hides that are, I had to soak them in a horse trough and then cut them all into
Wow.
circles and cut all the lacing by hand. It's been an evolution.
Yeah.
That's a lot when you have to cut 25 feet of lacing for one drum.
Oh
These
my
little
gosh.
hands were getting tired. Yeah. So I've
Yeah.
enrolled my husband to cut a lot of drums and lacing for me. Yeah.
That's
So
great.
yeah, that's just kind of how it started. But I made one and then I went to this native store in Salt Lake City. There's a big store up there on River Road where you can get all the things. You can buy drums in there and sweetgrass and sage and crystals and all the stuff. So I went in
Oh,
there
all
to
the
get my
favorites.
drum. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go see if I can sell some drums in here. Sure enough,
Awesome.
the guy was like, I will give you all the supplies and if you'll just make them for me. And I thought about that for a minute. I'm like, well, that sounds kind of cool. But also, then that sounds like work too, right? And I
Yeah,
just wanted
commitment.
to do it because I wanted to. And so, anyways,
Yeah,
I did show him a drum and he said to me, oh, you tie the Sioux way. And I was like, I
I do
do.
now.
And my fifth great grandmother was a Sioux, a Lakota Sioux. And so
No.
it was just like validating to me, like I just made this up. But
Yeah.
he's saying that. And that's happened to me more than once. I've had other, like a Navajo guy go, oh, you have Sioux stuff. And I'm like, perfect. So my name's Cami Sue. It fits.
That's so perfect. Kimmy Sue Taylor. That's
Yeah.
really awesome. I love it when we find those ties like that. It's not, like there's epigenetics and like ancestry.com and like all these different ways to maybe tie in, but it really is personal when it shows up through spirit, through your own hands without you even knowing. It's just like in you. I love
Yeah. I'm
that.
like, yes, I'm doing something. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. And so
Yeah.
I've done a lot of trial and error. I mean, I still have drums that break. And it's
Yeah.
not because I've tied them too tight or I did anything wrong. It just happens. It's rawhide and leather, and we live in the desert, But
Yeah.
I've learned how to repair them and fix them too. So I'm always like, don't throw your drum away. It's not ruined. We can fix it.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me. I've got a friend back there. He's hiding up there. And
Hmm.
I got him from a Native American friend. It's Cherokee, but it's got some tears and it needs some love. So I'm like,
Okay,
yeah, I might have to bring that one when we go
bring
dig it on
it.
fire. Okay,
Yes.
okay. And then the other one, like, oh, I can't wait to show up with this one, Yin, and like have you paint this little virgin here.
There you go.
It needs some love. And
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So like we're gonna have so much fun playing it, Yin.
Okay.
So
Well, as long as you know what you're painting on it, that's the hardest part is deciding
what
what to
to fill
paint.
up.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So if you
We
know, we
might
can do it.
just find out as we go. But yeah, I'll bring some ideas and then we'll just
Okay.
see what happens. It's probably going to be like a cosmic octopus or something. I don't even know.
Oh, maybe.
Who
Well,
knows?
that's fun. My
Well,
drum took like a year to evolve, so it just kept,
getting more and more paint.
yeah, yep,
Oh, okay.
more and more layers and
So
words.
when you add stuff onto that, do you have to reseal it? What is that process like as you paint? Because I know you've mastered that now. What's kind of in a nutshell, like what needs to happen? Do you prep it first, then you paint it, and then you clear coat it? Like, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, all those things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, there it is.
I've invented this little technique where I draw it on first
Okay.
and then I sand it down. So if you look at like this is a rattle that is going to be an owl. But this
Some
is just sanded with a little tool that I drew it
like a
on and then
Dremel.
and then I sanded it lightly and then
That's
I'll paint it with watered down paint. So it kind of is like a tattoo. It's going to soak in there because I've had them come off before, it's just trial and error on at this point. And so
thank
when I
you for
paint it,
sharing your wisdom.
then it'll look like a painted and then I'll
Wow.
seal it after. So
Okay. So it is that kind of process. And do you,
yeah.
I know you have a YouTube channel where you have some videos on there. Do you also teach live classes?
I
Now
no.
it's time. Okay. It's the
I teach
artist in
live
you.
classes on how to make drums. I have not done one on how to paint yet, but
Okay.
I might as well just do a Zoom painting class and you could be painting at home on yours right now.
Oh my
We
gosh, I
can
would love that.
Zoom.
I'm here
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, great idea. Thanks.
Yeah, of course, right?
Yeah.
I love being on podcasts with people and sharing these ideas because it's like the healing of one is the healing of all. Like we get the chance to share what we know. And it sounds like your ancestors gave you a lot of knowledge and without you necessarily hearing the words, it just like comes through you.
Yep.
So I appreciate you sharing it with me and anybody listening and watching today. It's pretty awesome to be in your presence and like with all your gifts. I'm like, look at those drums back there. Okay. So I know I've heard that there's different ways to string the drums. Do you just use leather or are you using some other animal parts that I have heard of?
I'm just using the same leather that so I hand cut the lacing and it's just the same. Um, Let me grab this one though. I'll show you. Like
Okay.
it's evolving. Like I did put a stick in the back of one that I made in a tree. This one has a ring from a horse tack in there.
Oh
So
my
that
gosh,
it
I
looks
love
like
that.
this, and then this is just soft leather to hold your hand in there like that.
Ooh,
So
I love
the
that.
backs are the funnest, and this is how the Sioux tied them. They did this beautiful
That's
round and
gorgeous.
round lacing. It's definitely the hardest. I don't do that a lot with people. I do those on the ones I sell because it takes extra lacing and extra time.
Yeah,
Um,
that's gorgeous.
I
And
make
what
some
kind
that
of,
look like trees on the back.
oh, that's,
Yeah,
I think I've seen some of yours that are doing that.
yeah.
So
The-
I think last year I may have met you and didn't know. I went to Wendy Bunnell's, her filming out in the desert, and we did a drum circle. And I
oh,
bet some of
wow.
your drums were there. Were you? I don't know if you were there, but
I
I'm like,
wasn't there. I didn't know her yet. No, but maybe some of my drums were there
I
because I
feel like they
film around.
were because oh, there was some gorgeous ones there. And yeah, it's like it's a air quotes small world up there. Like there's so many cool people where you're at.
Yeah.
It's such a wonderful healing community. And I love what everyone's sharing up there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There's
So
becoming a lot of drum makers and a lot of women drum makers.
that's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. There's a book called When the Women Were Drummers or something like that. And I've been listening to it and I've read it before and it just is really cool to know that this has been going on for a long time, drum making, and I am really happy to see it coming back now and people are getting into the new ways of drumming. You know, there's traditions and the ways that they used to do it. They drummed for everything, for ceremony, for weddings. They would drum to go to war. You know, drumming, it's the intention that you put, you know, there's a stick and there's a drum, but they don't play themselves. They don't get
Mm,
off the wall and work for you until
right.
you pick it up. And then if you hit it with intention, then that is when the magic happens.
I love that. I love drums and ceremonies because no matter what kind of ceremony you have, or like celebration, it's like it brings the intention home and vibrates it in. I'm really huge on I love intention. So if I'm telling, the stick, okay, what you're drumming in or what you're drumming out is da 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 da, and then I'm putting it over a certain part of my body or whatever, it
Mhm.
just makes such a big difference to set that intention and I don't know, bring spirit and inspiration in. And I feel that there's so much empowerment for women going on right now. And in general, just bringing drumming back to this country that's, the Native Americans' country originally. And here we are, like, getting to bring back in something that's been really beautiful. So, actually, one more question for your drums. Do you use a specific type of hide or just kind of whichever one feels right, however you sense that?
Honestly, I use anything I can get my hands on. It's been hard to get some hides, you know, since the hunting slowed down during the COVID and stuff. I haven't seen moose hide in 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Bear is really hard to find, but mostly I use bull hide, buffalo, elk, deer is good to use. It's really thin though, so I don't use it as much. I like the thicker ones that are going to stand the test of time. But if
Yeah.
someone really wants a deer, then I'll get it. They're just a little more finicky.
Yeah,
So
this one is goat, actually. I'm like, okay.
yeah, yeah. Well, right now it's been raining here in the desert for a week straight, and so none of the drums work.
Oh,
So
come
they
on.
go flat. Yeah, it's really funny. I'll let you hear this one. You can heat them up. Like people get all upset. Oh, my drum's broken. It's not.
Yeah.
It's just humid. So it's like
Oh,
nothing.
Zoom, I was gonna say Zoom won't let us hear anything. Like, I don't know if you could hear
Oh,
me doing this. I know when I do my
oh no.
regular, you couldn't hear it either. Darn it.
Uh-uh.
But
No,
anyway, we love drums.
it's
We love
really
vibration.
flat. Yeah.
Okay.
So I can put it in the bathroom and turn a little space heater on and it will tighten right back up and play perfectly. But when it's weathery outside or you're traveling different elevations, sometimes they don't work until they get warmed back up. And you can put them in the sun just for a few minutes and they'll just warm back up and play beautiful.
Come back to
So,
life. I love that. That's interesting the way we can interact with the different elements, like the weather is going on with the drum, which is going on with us. And it's
yep.
I'm like, synergy. I just love it.
Yeah.
I love drums. I'm like, I feel a little sad that this one isn't necessarily it's not natural, like it's man-made, but it does a very consistent sound, and I'm really excited to be able to paint on it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. And so you sound like you've been an artist forever as well. When did your artist journey, when you started painting everything in this under the sun, when did that start?
About 20 years ago, I had my last baby and my other kids were older. He was 8 years behind. So the other ones were doing their own thing. I had this one little baby and I just started sketching. I've always loved art in school and stuff, but never really had any formal training until then. And so I took a few classes at the college and just loved it. So
There it
put
went.
some things in the county fair, won some ribbons, gave me a little confidence. Next thing you know, I'm painting people's pets that have passed on and portraits and all kinds of things.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
love that. Okay. I'm like, I feel hope too. I'm like, I've painted some people's pets before too. It's just
Yeah.
fun. I think
I
art,
love pets.
yeah,
People are harder. I did have to take a class. I went to a class at the college and learned from Del Parsons, and he really pushed me to do faces because I kept like trying to do everything but the face. And he's like, no, quit doing the hair, quit doing all the things, just do the face. And so he
nice.
taught me how to do faces. But
I love that. There's like, it's
it's,
interesting what we kind of avoid in art. Cause like
yeah,
once upon a time in college, I did the life drawing ones where you're like drawing the models and stuff. And I never was like hands, not so much.
yeah,
I could do the face, but hands were a little, I don't know. I still, whatever, I need to practice. But I'm looking forward to when my kids are a little older, maybe I can get back into some more of that art.
yeah.
I love what you're up to with the drums and the artwork and the rattles. I'm definitely gonna have to get a rattle. It sounds like I'm gonna need a medicine bag. Like there's just all these
Yep.
beautiful things and offerings that I'm excited to see that you have to offer. But I also want to have you touch base a little bit with us about the relationship mentor, like maybe how you got into that and what is available in that for listeners who may have their ears perked for relationship mentor.
Well, my husband and I, West, so he films a lot with the horses and he does a lot of online courses with horse people, how to work with their horses. But we found that while I was filming, I was learning a lot about myself. And so I'd start sharing with him, well, the horse taught me this and the horse taught me that. And so next thing you know, that between the two of us, we wrote this whole course on teaching humans about how they can change their story and it'll change their life because really we're just telling ourselves stories, right? And so
Yeah.
it's the relationship course is all about that. It's a relationship with self, and the two of us co-facilitate, and then we also have videos of a horse to show what we're talking about, and people just fall in love with the horse part. And then we wrote a book too. I haven't released it. It is on Amazon, and the book comes with the course and it walks you through, and then there's some art healing in there.
Of course, because you touched it. It's got your
Yep.
handprint on it.
Cut and paste. You can make these story cards in there, and so you tell your old story, and then on the other side of the card you tell your new story. And so it's pretty cool to see the transformation that happens when people really want to change their story.
And this is for like couples or for like a mom and daughter or self to
No,
self.
no, it's just your relationship with self. I mean, anyone could do it. We definitely could do a couples class, but we just had a whole group of single ladies that did our last one, and it was really fun.
That's cool. You guys have some magic. So when I first met you, we were doing this retreat, we're having fun together, and we really solidified and to me brought closure to, and I don't know what other words, because maybe they're not human words, but we did this labyrinth and drumming at the end, and the magic of being in your presence and your husband's presence and the space that was held there. You guys are amazing to work with. And I
Thank you.
mean, yeah, I'm like, I was honored to work with you guys. And I also felt honored as a person and like seen and held and yeah, like empowered as well. You both have an incredible presence. And I appreciate you both as humans. I'm like, yeah. So just really excited to share what you guys are up to and all the fun things. So you're going to be at Yin on Fire and you're doing a lot there. So you're going to have a booth and you're going to
Yep.
be dancing with me ecstatically, right? Wink, wink. No, I'm kidding.
Always, always.
Okay, good, good.
Yep.
And you guys are staying on site and is Wes doing horses? What are you guys going to be doing there? Where can we find you?
Yes, all the things. There's going to be a round pen. We're going to bring one of the Mustangs or two. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So he'll be doing a round pen presentation with a horse, so you can come and see what the horse has to teach you about you, because everybody gets something different from the same presentation.
Right. I'm
Um,
like, I went to
yeah,
one. It was really good.
yeah. So we'll have that. We're going to be camping, so we'll be there the whole time just to get the full experience of the music and just hanging out with people. We love connection, and I'll be teaching why to rattle, why to drum, why you would want to create these tools or use them for yourself. I'm also going to facilitate a labyrinth walk, I think every day. I haven't looked at the schedule. There's a beautiful labyrinth already on site. So there will be a labyrinth meditation, which
Incredible.
I
Right.
So I'll be doing that, and then just, yeah, running around with my drum. I'll probably be wearing a drum the whole time, so I won't be hard to find.
No, no, we'll definitely see you there. Will you be wearing shoes? Do we know that? No, I'm just on the
I'm
ground.
not sure.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
kind of wondering too. I don't know. It's going to be wild and free and fun and
Well,
healing.
yeah, it's a big camp out and a lot of acres, so maybe shoes and maybe a swimsuit. I'm sure there's a lake on site. We can be
Right.
swimming,
Sliding
bring a
on
bike,
into that.
ride a horse around. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. You guys would probably do that, huh? Just like horse it up.
Yeah.
I love that. So where can people find you? Like, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you, to find your courses, to get some rattles? What's the best place to get to?
Well, our course and any horse stuff, horse related or relationship mentoring stuff is on our website, and that is wildwesttaylor.com.
Okay.
Yeah. I
We'll
haven't
have it
made
in the
this
show
the
notes.
website yet, but I'm on his website too. So, and
Mhm.
then my stuff is mostly just social media. So I'm Cami Sue Taylor or Cami Taylor Art, Instagram, Facebook. I have a little YouTube, but it's really, I'd rather be painting than making videos.
I know. I totally get that. I'm like, I don't know who
There's
watches
not
my.
much there. And then I started the TikTok, but it seemed like a lot, with Instagram and Facebook and all the other things. So,
Right?
like I said,
It's
I'd rather be in nature and painting. So,
yeah. That's
um,
my posts and
yeah,
things get to be a little disjointed because I mean I want to live life, not just take pictures of life. So
me too. So, yeah, but reach out and message me because more than likely I have a lot of things that aren't available because I haven't taken a picture of them.
right? I know
So,
you showed me a few like before we got started and just now, and I'm like, I want that. Oh my gosh, I want that. That's so cute. Okay.
just tell me what you want and I'll make one before we get to Yin on Fire next month.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. Okay. I love it. Okay, well, we'll talk after this, but for listeners, yes, check her out on social media, go to her website, grab the course, and get to know yourself better in the relationship. And we would love for you to come to Yin on Fire because you're going to see them live, and that is some real magic. So that's exciting. Is there any other like point you want to iterate or other last things that you want to share with anybody listening, like drum for life? I don't know, maybe you have a cheer that you want to share. No. I just like
Well, the one thing I tell all of my clients is it's okay to have a circle of one. You don't have to wait for a drum circle to use your drum. Get it off the wall and drum every day. Circle of one.
circle of one, drum every day. That's really good. I'm like, this is going to remind me to get my drums out more. I'm like, I need to
There
give
you
that
go.
one back their love.
Yep. We'll bring
That
it.
is
We'll love it.
oh awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me on here.
Yeah.
And I am so excited to meet back up with you at Yin on Fire. We're going to have a blast. It's
Yes,
gonna be
we
crazy.
are. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, yeah. Love having fun with people, and you're good people. So wink, wink.
Thanks.
All right, listeners and viewers, I just want to remind you of this lovely last thing that I love to share is remember to love yourself forward, backward, inside and out, because you are the unfolding of the universe.